You are a trader, not an analyst. That's the sentence. I'm not gonna have you wait an entire video before I tell you. You can leave if you'd like, but I think you should stick around. I'd like to chat about this. As a trader, we are constantly bombarded with tons of different information, whether that's technical information, looking at different charts, there's so many pairs that we can trade, constantly moving price action, or fundamental news. So there is always tons of economic data that is coming out, tons of news. Things are always moving and shifting around the world, especially the environment that we find ourselves in today, dealing with a global pandemic. And so it can be incredibly difficult and frustrating as a trader to discern what is important and what is unimportant. And quickly, if you're anything like me and you can find yourself going down a deep rabbit hole, it can very quickly become debilitating and so frustrating to try and figure out what you actually have to pay attention to and what you can just ignore. So to backtrack a few years, this is probably about 3 years ago now, I took the Apex Paragon course here in Montreal. It was a 3-day course, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was ridiculously expensive. It was $5,000 plus tax. It was in like a super luxurious, fancy hotel. It was really, really nice, and I don't regret taking that course at all. I learned a lot, and really, if anything, it helped me scratch my own itch. I think if I hadn't taken that course, even to this day, I would be thinking, well, am I missing something? Is there something I don't know? Is there some kind of secret weapon? But all of that to say, the strategy that I learned during that course is very, very similar, 95% the same as what I am trading or how I am trading now. But there's one really key difference, and that is the importance and the reliance on fundamentals. During that course, Sammy's disappeared on Instagram, which is kind of weird. I don't know if he's ever gonna come back, but all that to say, he said that you need to know whether a currency is going up or down before you even look at the chart. And I think that is so interesting, and take it from me, it is a lot more difficult than you might think. If you turn on the news, go on any Forex website, you will read very quickly 100 reasons for why, say, the British pound is going to go up and 100 reasons for why the British pound is going to go down. You just get stuck in this rotating loop of, I think it's gonna go up, I think it's gonna go down, and based on his strategy, you can only really take a trade if you have a fundamental reason behind it. So if you can't come up with a reason, you're not taking a trade, and so that became super difficult for me. But before I found myself in this deep kind of rabbit hole, he said during the course to not trade a live account until you're consistently doubling your demo account. And so I went home, I opened up a demo account and I traded it. I focused very hard on it, and I was risking only 2% per trade. 2%, it's a good amount, but I was risking 2% per trade, and in 2.5 months, I doubled the account. Now to this day, those are some of the best trading results I have ever gotten. And really, I was very disciplined with my risk. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but based on that strategy, if you manage to get into a winning trade and can add several positions, it is just a huge winner. So once I doubled my account, I went live, and like what happens with most people that go live, it didn't go so well. It took only about 2 to 3 months after the course until I started to learn more and more about fundamentals that I started to question things, and I started to overcomplicate everything, the analysis, and I just became totally paralyzed by analysis. Paralysis by analysis really is a thing. So I struggled with that for a long time, for many months afterwards. I just couldn't find the same consistency that I got prior to going live. So I ended up going back to demo trading and back and forth, and it was this whole thing. So fast forward a few years, and I ended up refining my trading. I took a couple of other courses, and I found something that suits my personality a little bit better, and that is not so reliant on fundamentals. And bringing it all the way to this year, I ended up hearing a quote that really totally transformed my trading, and that is, like I said, you are a trader, not an analyst. And this applies so well to not only me, but I think a lot of traders, especially traders that I talk to, you know, subscribers that have messaged me, and they're trying to implement fundamental analysis into their trading, which I think is a really valuable tool. I'll be making more videos on it in the future. I do think it's valuable. I don't think you should just ignore fundamentals altogether. But people tend to just get caught up and stuck in reading the news and not knowing what is important and what is not important. I had a friend who took the Apex Paragon course as well, and this guy was just so deep into fundamentals. He was sending me like economic outlooks and really obscure data points saying that, you know, cotton swaps are going up, you know, this is a leading indicator for X, Y, and Z, and it was just crazy. And, you know, I've come to realize we are traders, we're not an analyst. So we need to use this sentence and this framework to build a mental model for what will be important and what will be unimportant in our trading, what will be irrelevant. Now, this is difficult to do. I don't have clear-cut answer for you for, you know, what news events are important and what's not important, how it applies to our trading. It's something that really takes a lot of effort on your end. It's kind of personalized. I'm trying to build a course on fundamentals that are really just relevant to Forex trading because I haven't seen anything like that, and I think it could be helpful for a lot of people. That will hopefully come out sometime in the new year. It's still very much a work in progress. But really what I'm trying to say to you guys is if you are overwhelmed with information, you need to start to determine what's important. And by important, I mean what is actually moving the market. If you can look back on the chart to a big move, do research, and understand why that move happened fundamentally, I think you will become a phenomenal trader. And that is the most difficult yet most effective form of backtesting that I have seen. The easiest thing to do is to just disregard fundamentals as a whole in their entirety. And I do think you can trade Forex without knowing anything about economics or what drives a certain currency. But if you want to become the best possible trader that you can be, I simply do not think you can avoid them. Yes, you can have smaller trades that are winners, you can make some money, but I don't think you will reach your full potential. So really my goal for 2022, amongst other things, is to start taking more swing trades again. Some of the best trading results that I've ever had was using this style of combining fundamental analysis with the technicals that you guys have all seen on this channel. So as we approach the new year, and once we get into the new year, this is something I'm going to be focusing more and more on. Fundamental analysis and fundamental news is pretty dry and doesn't do that well on YouTube. So I'm going to be doing my very best to try and make it as interesting and as valuable as possible. So you guys can let me know in the comment section if there's something specific about fundamentals that you're struggling with or that you would like to learn, and I'll be happy to implement that into a video. But that is the goal for 2022, to really start catching some of those bigger trades. All of that to say, I hope that this quote, "You are a trader, not an analyst," gets you thinking about a few things and hopefully helps you if you're struggling with discerning what is important and what is not important. It's definitely a mental thing that you need to wrap your head around. Maybe this doesn't apply to you if if you're not overwhelmed with information, but I think most traders at one point or another do struggle with this. So I hope you got value from it. Of course, if you're still here, you have my gratitude. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, peace.